Have you ever wondered how a few seconds of human error could change the fate of millions? What happens when science slips out of human control? And could a disaster like Chernobyl ever happen again? I'm the curious narrator of today, and I want to take you back to one of humanity's darkest nights. When technology, pride, and negligence stood side by side and the world changed forever. The story begins in Ukraine in 1986, in a city called Pripyat, a young, modern city full of cheerful workers from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. A plant that was meant to symbolize Soviet progress. But within minutes, it became the world's worst nuclear disaster. April 26th, 1:23 a.m. A simple safety test was being conducted at reactor number 4. Engineers wanted to see if the reactor could cool itself during a power outage. But mistake after mistake, poor communication, and reckless decisions caused the pressure inside the reactor to spiral out of control. In seconds, temperatures soared beyond 2,000 degrees Celsius. The first explosion ripped off the roof. The second blasted radioactive materials over a kilometer into the sky. Dozens of tons of graphite and uranium were released, emitting radiation thousands of times stronger than the Hiroshima bomb. But the real horror was just beginning. In the city, people stood by their windows watching the bright glow. They thought it was just another fire. No one realized that invisible radioactive dust was settling on their hair, their clothes, their skin. 48 hours later, Pripyat was evacuated. 49,000 people left their homes forever. More than 135,000 from surrounding villages were also displaced. But the true damage couldn't be seen. The air they breathed, the soil beneath their feet, even the milk and vegetables they ate, all poisoned by cesium, iodine, and strontium. In the months that followed, more than 600,000 soldiers, firefighters, and volunteers, the liquidators, were sent to clean up the disaster. Many became sick within weeks and never returned. It's estimated that over 4,000 people died directly from radiation-induced cancer, though some reports suggest the number could be as high as 90,000. Yet what made Chernobyl unique wasn't only the explosion, it was the lie that followed. The Soviet government tried to hide the truth. But 2 days later, Swedish monitoring stations detected unusual radiation levels. That's how the world discovered what had happened. The silence had already doomed thousands who stayed unaware of the danger. And yet human courage shone through the chaos. Heroes like firefighter Vasily Ignatenko rushed into the burning plant without any protective gear to prevent a greater explosion. Most of them died days later in Moscow hospitals. Their bodies were so radioactive they had to be buried in lead coffins. But the story didn't end there. The radiation lingered for decades, in the soil, in the forests, in the bones of animals. Creatures were born with mutations, plants grew in strange patterns, and the exclusion zone became a living laboratory of nature's response to human folly. And when people left, nature returned. Today, wild horses, deer, and wolves roam freely through the empty streets of Pripyat. Thousands of scientists continue to study the long-term effects of radiation in this eerie, silent world. Even stranger, tourists now visit Chernobyl wearing protective suits, walking through the ghost city to see humanity's darkest lesson up close. In 2019, the TV series Chernobyl reignited global memory, reminding us how one wrong decision can rewrite history. Yet Chernobyl isn't just a tragedy. It's a lesson in awareness and responsibility. After the disaster, nuclear safety standards around the world changed dramatically. Many countries reviewed their reactors, and the concept of a safety culture became central to nuclear industries. But fear of atomic power also grew stronger. Several projects were canceled, and the world began shifting toward cleaner energy, wind, solar, and renewables. And now, in 2025, the debate still continues. Can we really trust nuclear power again? Can we ever be sure that another Chernobyl won't happen? Deep inside reactor number 4, over 200 tons of radioactive material remain sealed under a massive steel dome. A structure meant to last until the year 2120. Just imagine, how many generations will come and go before it's safe again? Chernobyl stands as a mirror, reflecting both the brilliance and the arrogance of humankind. A reminder that every technology, no matter how useful, can become deadly when divorced from understanding and humility. But maybe the real question is, did we truly learn from Chernobyl? Or are we simply waiting for history to repeat itself? What do you think? Do you believe humanity is ready to handle great power responsibly? Or do we still have lessons to learn? Tell me in the comments, because the conversation about Chernobyl isn't over yet.